Another whole one, quick. Just press the brake there. If I hadn't pressed the brake there, the car, have a guess what's going to happen with the front left tyre?
It's going to like go into the curb.
Yeah, you need to be more active with your clutch control there to give you time to get that steering off. Because if you're travelling at speed, then you're trying to catch up with the actual travelling speed of the car with your steering.
Yeah.
And we've sometimes said when you're turning corners, bigger reaches, get that wheel doing what you want it to do, when you want it to do it. Have a look at the parallel park for the first time. So you opted for me to guide you through. You've had a look at the video beforehand. Which video was that?
The like step-by-step one.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in watching that video to give you some help in preparing for when you do your parallel park, then it's this video here. Okay then, so Lauren, when you're ready, if you prepare the car, clutch down first gear, get yourself all ready, bike point for gradient. I'm going to pull up alongside the white car, about this much gap between the mirrors, your left mirror and its other door mirror, as you pass, and pull straight and pull just past it. So your front end's just past it.
Okay.
If there's something coming, don't pull alongside it because it'll be confusing. You'll move off, then you'll stop again.
Okay.
So it'll be confusing until you get your reverse lights on.
Okay.
And those in front won't see the reverse lights regardless. So that's what I'd always be thinking at this point. Good. So just mainly clutch control here. Clutch in a bit there. Get your steer on. Check your shoulder again because it's been a while. That's it. That's it. Clutch in a bit there. Bit more on the clutch. Bit more. Steer more, Lauren, to get us straight. Keep edging us forward. It doesn't matter how far we pass this. Clutch in a bit there. Now straighten the steering wheel up completely. Now we are straight. Clutch down, straight into reverse. Giving a signal with those lovely white reverse lights to anybody that comes behind so they know why we're here. We set that left door mirror so it's down a little bit. And we're going to set the revs, find the bike for gradient, which I believe is about flat. There is a bit of camber on the left though, so as we come back at the 1 o'clock angle, I know you've done your research, we could start to pick up speed, but we'll cover that in a minute.
Okay.
Alright, are you okay with those feet? It's good, so we've got a bit of revs and we're nearly at bite, so that's fine. You can get that once you've checked. You don't have to put the handbrake on here, you can if it's needed or appropriate. So start checking from your right shoulder, working your way around, looking for any hazards or anything developing around you. If it's clear, continue looking over the left shoulder, and we'll start edging backwards until the back of our vehicle is level with the end of that object there, which is a car today. So when you line the two up, really slow, just keep edging it backwards. When you're ready, line them up and tell me when you think they're lined up. So get yourself slow enough so you can stop yourself. Tell me when you think they're lined up. That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Next thing then, we're going to put a full left lock on.
Okay.
Which shoulder do you need to check to make sure it's safe for the front of the car to swing outwards? You've got it. Is it safe, Lauren? Checking over that? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. Nothing coming ahead. Okay, so full left lock. And there's nothing crossing behind us or anything? Back to the direction of travel?
No.
Good stuff. Try and be sort of moving slightly when you steer. Otherwise you could be dry steering. Clutch up, clutch up, clutch up. Clutch up's the answer.
Yeah.
So come off the brake. Clutch up a bit. You've got a few dips in the road, look, can you see all the drains and where they've had the road up? And so those dips will do that if the bike point's just below where it needs to be. Just update the shoulder, make sure it is still safe, and continue looking all around. We've got to be a bit more efficient with making it move this time so that everything stays in sync. That's it, just making it actually move, that's it. Fantastic. Now we started at 12 o'clock, didn't we? We pulled in relation to the road ahead.
Yeah.
Do you remember what number we're going to take the steering off at? 1 o'clock. So not quite yet. Is it still clear over the right shoulder just because some time's passed?
Yeah.
Now clutch in a touch, clutch in a there. See, that's give you a bit of a respite there to get you. You don't even got a brake.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to straighten them tyres up. It's a nice 1 o'clock angle, this one. Clutch in a bit more there, good. And continue to make the tyres straight. Good, awesome. So come back in a straight line now. Is it clear behind still?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you told me something about the door handle earlier, clutch in. Just control that speed with the foot brake here. just while we talk, just because it's the first time doing it. Just to explain to me what you know about this bit.
That the door handle needs to be just above the curb.
Yeah, I think the illustrations might be slightly wrong on that. It's actually like it looks like it's sitting on top of the curb.
Okay.
Okay, that white door handle.
Yeah.
All right. Also, can you see the black outline of the tyre? Just.
There I can.
That's good. Get used to looking at that and where that is when you steer, because ultimately that's what you need to get in tune with.
Yeah.
That's the pivot point, really. The front do the steering and the back will just turn accordingly. Right, so if we keep travelling back in a straight line, bit of time's passed, so what do you need to do to update?
Check.
Yep. Okay, and that one's not going to bother us, is it, there? So if we start moving backwards, keeping the steering wheel dead straight for now, just make sure it is. So. Clutching a bit, don't have to get too quick. Right, there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so steer fairly sharply. Any later than that, I don't think it'll make it round, but just visualise that angle, where the door handle is in relation to that curb. Yeah? And a full right lock. Check all around before you do it. Make sure it's safe to continue and for you to put that lock on, because you'll be moving when you put it on to avoid dry steering, hopefully. Yeah, much quicker, that's it. That's it, now just monitor the speed here, bit slower, bit slower, bit slower, that's it. Good, looks like you know what you need to do. Okay, I'll leave that with you. Put the full one, Lauren, on the steering wheel quickly. There. Good. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Alright, secure the car. And reset the door mirror. Before we forget. I'm guilty of it as well. Okay, how did you find your first parallel park?
It's alright.
Better than you expected? Worse than you expected? Or
Yeah, I think it's not as complicated as I thought.
not really, is it?
No.
There's a few steps, but they're fairly simple steps. It's the same every time in terms of full locks. Full locks on, full locks off.
Yeah.
There's many ways of doing this, and I'm guessing I'll have a lot of questions come through about this, saying, I've been taught this way, is this still okay? Now, for those wondering if it's okay, is it safe is the main question. If your method is safe, then of course it's okay. It's still going to lead to the same end result. There's many ways of doing things. So yeah, very good there. How many turns of the wheel, how many half an hour chunks from straight to make a full lock?
3.
Yeah. So that's what I always do. You know, when you're going, so that you remember, because it's easy to just take half off and the wheel appears straight. The steering wheel does. The tyres aren't. You don't see that, of course. And as a beginner driver, you may not feel it at first. So take half off, which is 1, but then keep going. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then you should again look like you're straight and job done. That's how I would manage that. But apart from that, I don't really feel like there's anything to kind of pick up on, really. Is there anything I can help you with?
I don't think.
No? How would you like to go about the next practice?
I think I might be able to do it on my own.
Okay.
But then obviously if I do something wrong, then
Shall I look out to see if you've missed anything?
yeah.
If you're aware that you're going to miss something, or you can't remember, what your job is to ask me in good time. But if I feel that it's already too late or borderline something's going to affect it, because there isn't going to be enough time to implement, I'll tell you, shall I?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're ready, we'll use the same car. Just the key here, Lauren, is being a bit more active with your clutch control.
Yeah.
You know, because you're going to have a lot of steer to get around this white car and then position alongside it.
Yeah.
So keep steering left and pull yourself parallel earlier
Yeah.
with the white car. Okay, I'll leave you with that. 11:11 again, look. Keep seeing all the ones on it all the time for some reason. Clutch in there a bit. See what I mean? Got time to get steering on, take it off, another shoulder update. That's it. Quite a lot of steers here. Yeah, clutch in. More. It's good. Well done. As soon as you feel that speed getting a bit high though, stop it. Okay. Anyway, over to you. Your clutch needs to be firmly on the floor when you're moving the gears, yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that? What's the reason for that? What does that do when you press the clutch down to the floor?
The plates. There's something to do with the plates.
It is. Does it open them or close them?
Open them.
Yeah, and because you want to select a gear, don't you? So you need to do that. Shoulder, make sure it's safe, nobody crossing or coming towards you. So, apart from that, we're all good. Keep up the good work. Steer faster and get that off. Big ones, 1, 2, done. Steer back. Can you see what you need to see in that mirror? You might be able to without setting it.
Just about.
Can you?
Yeah.
That's fine. Because I was just thinking we might need to travel a little bit further, get a little closer first before we steer right, or else we'll have a big gap between us and the curb. Not yet. Another whole one, quick. Just press the brake there. If I hadn't pressed the brake there, the car, have a guess what's going to happen with the front left tyre?
It's going to go into the curb.
Yeah, even earlier than you would expect because it's sticking out still from the side of the car. So you need to be more active with your clutch control there to give you time to get that steering off, because if you're travelling at speed then you're trying to catch up with the actual travelling speed of the car with your steering.
Yeah.
And we've sometimes said when you're turning corners, bigger reaches, get that wheel doing what you want it to do when you want it to do it. And I think just could be adopting that a little bit more here in conjunction with clutch control. But the more we do these manoeuvres, the more it'll promote that good stuff anyway, so don't worry. But that's I didn't need to press pedal, it wouldn't, you know, but I did really, because I didn't want to hit the curb.
Yeah.
Alright. So if the car's still turning, what do you think you need to do? Because it appears straight on the steering wheel.
Is there another?
Yeah. It's the other way. That's it. Now if you travel back in a straight line, see, now he's not turning. So I would always, if I'm unsure if I've got steering on, I'd always move the car just a smidge, because you'll feel it. You can feel whether it's steering, and then you can calculate whether you need to take another whole hour steering off or not. For those watching some newer cars, just pop in neutral, handbrake on. Some newer cars are different in that a full lock of the wheel will just be one turn. So it is very much vehicle specific, and there's not one set of way of doing it. How did you find that, Lauren? What could you improve on then?
The speed.
Right.
Just, like, keep it on top of that.
And how would you do that?
Use the clutch, but like just focus on how fast you're going. The road changes.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Mm.
We talked a bit about camber earlier. What's camber?
The like curve of a road.
Particularly that point, wasn't it, where it was going to come back at one. Started to pick up a little bit more speed. You might put your clutch down. You might put your clutch down a little bit. It might pick up speed. If it does, what you need to do straight away.
Use the brake.
That's it. So, how do you feel about the manoeuvre on the whole?
Good.
What? Yeah, I mean, it's a good start there, isn't it? Definitely something to build on. It's not going to take much for you to. I mean, you did that. You remember the steps, just timing and just a bit of control, really, isn't it? Why do we check the right shoulder then? Because that's something I needed to remind you to do. And it might be because you were trying to think of all the steps and that. But why do we need to check that shoulder? Why is that so important?
Because the front of the car swings out, so if someone's there, might not realise.
Because on some roads it's wide enough for cars and bikes to get past on the right with us manoeuvring as well, and some cars will, and they'll keep coming. If we swing, like you say, we'll swing into maybe something oncoming, because when we actually check right, our eyes cast from pass forwards and check over to the right. So actually, it's good for a number of reasons, because then you'll be looking back where you're going and that.
Yeah.
And you'll spot it. Anything coming from behind, anything coming from in front. Right, so what do you want to do? Do you want to have a little look now at some faster driving, maybe adding in some carriageways and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah? Dual carriageways with 2 lanes. Okie dokie, let's have a look at that then.